Well, wedding preparations can be so stressful because it's a very important day and everybody wants it to be a unique and fabulous day, and a lot of people want their day to be perfect. You know, if you want your day to be perfect, that is just a recipe for disappointment, because there's one thing you can be sure of: there's going to be a few things that go wrong. That's just the way of it. So what I think is really important is to accept that there may be some things wrong. Maybe the flowers won't arrive on time, or somebody will be in a bad mood, or someone will be stressed and shouting. And the most important thing is for you to be aware of that ahead of time and decide how you're going to deal with it if problems arise, which they probably will. In addition to that, just the preparations are stressful. There's a lot to do. You have to get invitations, you have to have the right clothes, you have to have the right flowers, the right music. Who are you going to invite? Which family wants which family member to come? All of these things can cause problems on the day, and often do.
And how do the couples can identify these problems and also avoid them?
Well, I don't think that you can entirely avoid problems, and I also think it's ambitious to think you can even identify what they're all going to be. You do your best. You imagine it. You run the movie in your mind and think, what's the day going to be like? And you run the movie in your mind the way you want it to look. And in doing so, you can kind of identify, well, what happens if this happens? Well, we'll do this. But there's something really much more important. So once you ask me what you're going to do about it, I'll tell you what to do about it. As far as the problems are concerned, you only focus on them long enough to know what you're going to do. That's what worrying is for, is to help you make a plan. Once you've made a plan, worrying anymore is just a waste of energy and time.
So how to calm down? What are the tips?
Well, the first thing I think that's really important when such a wonderful and important day is coming near is to think about what your goal is for the day. Most people are just so busy trying to make it perfect and worrying about the flowers and having arguments with family members and probably even the person they're going to be marrying, who they're supposed to be in love with, and they forget that what's the most important thing on your wedding day? You know, you're going to be looking back on it for the rest of your life. You're going to be telling your children about it perhaps. And when you talk about it and think about it later, what is it you want to say? In my case, I wanted to say it was fun. That was what was important to me. And so I made that the top of my list. And second on my list was that I wanted to feel very much in love with the man I was going to marry. This is the first day of your married life, and I wanted that to be a good day that would set the feeling for the rest of the marriage. I think it's really worth considering. What do you want from your wedding day? Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be in love? I think a really good thing to carry with you everywhere is your sense of humour. You know, when the flowers don't arrive, instead of screaming and shouting, you can laugh and go, I knew there was going to be a problem. Well, it doesn't matter. Because every time you say, it doesn't matter, the important thing is that I'm in love, or I'm having fun, or I'm making my family happy, or whatever it is that you're doing, the more you don't focus on what's wrong. I want to just tell you something here. You can't not think of things. If I tell you don't think of a blue book, how do you not think of it? You can only think of things. So the important thing is to focus your attention on what you do want and be in a wonderful, relaxed, resourceful state so that when things go wrong, you keep coming back to what you do want and you keep remembering. Be in love, be having fun, be light-hearted, be generous, whatever it is.
So it is possible to go through the wedding preparation smoothly.
Absolutely. You can be excited, you can have adrenaline, excitement, but wouldn't it be a shame to waste that unique opportunity and be miserable and annoying and somebody who nobody else is going to like because you're in a bad mood? Who wants to marry somebody in a bad mood? I don't think so. So staying calm, staying relaxed, staying soft, and staying in love with your husband, if we're talking to women, if we're talking to men, in love with your wife. She's your queen. Make sure she feels like it. So I think those things are really important focuses of attention. But there's some really useful practices that you can do as well. And I really recommend that you take 5 minutes now and then, maybe once in the morning, once in the afternoon, before you go to bed, where you just close your eyes and just listen to the sounds in the world around you and just be in the moment. If you breathe really deeply into your stomach, into your diaphragm, you'll clear the excess adrenaline. I recommend some deep breathing, maybe take a yoga class in the months leading up to it, so that you actually have a practice to be calm and to be in a wonderful state. And then focus on all the good feelings that you have. The more you focus on feeling wonderful, guess what? The more you will feel wonderful. The more you focus on just being lovely to be with and being a pleasure for everybody else, the more you will be. And what happens when you do that is people respond to you better. So they give you less of a hard time. If you're going, I want there to be only pink flowers, that's just a recipe for an argument. Do you really want your wedding day to be filled with arguments? No. What's important? Keep that in mind all the time.
Right. Do you mind me just asking one more question, if you don't mind?
Please.
Just giving us perhaps some concrete examples again
Yes.
of typical stressful situations
Sure.
that you have
Yeah.
experienced maybe with your clients or yourself before the wedding day.
One of the stresses that happens a lot around a wedding day is that people know they're going to have to speak. So the groom is going to have to make a speech, the parents maybe are going to have to make a speech. And it's incredible to me, who finds it easy to speak in public, but some people find that really stressful. I get a lot of clients coming to me just to prepare for that one speech of maybe 5 minutes talking to people who are probably already a bit drunk, and they're worrying so much about it that they're having sleepless nights. So that's a typical thing that somebody can get stressed about. And my advice on that, get some help. There are plenty of people who you can go to that will help you write the speech and will help you research it so that you don't need to leave it to chance. But again, if that's you and you have to make a speech and it's stressful, the most important thing is remember what you want, okay? What you want is for everybody to enjoy it. And if you want them to enjoy it, you're going to have to enjoy it yourself.